This week on JambarTV, we'll talk about the rallies involving the beginning of Johnson's presidency. Then, we'll talk about the rock boat in Miami, Florida. We'll also talk about the basketball teams and their attempt to spark win streaks. Hello and welcome back to JambarTV. I'm Scott Chiddock.
And I'm Matt Sautler.
YSU President Bill Johnson had his first day on campus January 22nd. His appointment has been met with backlash since he was selected by the Board of Trustees through a confidential search process. The president's first day saw campus filled with more pushback as well as some support. Editor-in-Chief Molly Burke takes a look.
I'm here outside Todd Hall, where on Monday, January 22nd, two gatherings were held in response to President Johnson's first day. At 10 a.m., students walked out of classes in protest of his presidency, and at noon, community members rallied in support to welcome the president.
Shame on you, YSU!
Around 50 students gathered outside Todd Hall at 10 before marching to Johnson's residence, the Pollock House. The walkout was organized by a group of students, including senior political science major Rose McClurkin. McClurkin said the walkout demanded Johnson step down and that the administration create a policy that requires community input when hiring a president.
If he really wants to be considered with community support, they need to reopen this and have a transparent process. That process might end up with him back as president, but it will have had community buy-in and input.
Among the crowd was Daniel Catello, an alumnus who spoke at the protest. Catello said it's unfair the administration has made cuts to programs in the Dana School of Music while paying Johnson a generous salary.
They are shutting out the voices of the students, shutting out the voices of the faculty, not listening to former trustees, not listening to over 20,000 members of the community that have signed a petition in support of the Dana School. And they are going forward with decisions that the community at large do not want.
After the protest cleared out, a group of about 20 people gathered in front of Todd Hall to rally in support for President Johnson. The rally was organized by Mike Costarell, a professor of engineering technology and advisor for YSU's chapter of Turning Point USA. Costarell said the community hasn't given Johnson a chance, and he wants to show that there are many who will.
That's really the reason I wanted to get into this. There's only been one side of opinions on Bill Johnson, and I wanted to let everyone else know that there's other people who think differently.
Senior finance major and Turning Point USA president Austin Brown was also at the rally. He said those protesting are politically motivated, and he believes Johnson will make a good president.
I think that a lot of the opposition at that time was driven mainly by partisan ideals. I don't think that those people had the best in mind for campus and what we need right now. I think Bill Johnson is an excellent leader. He has proven that in the House, and I think that he would bring a lot of that experience to YSU and could make great use of it here.
The Jambar will continue to follow Johnson's presidency and the community's response. Tune into Jambar TV next week for an exclusive interview with President Johnson. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Molly Burke.
Student Government Association will host an open body meeting from 4 to 5 p.m. on January 29th with YSU President Bill Johnson. After listening to community concerns, SGA passed a resolution of no confidence after Johnson was appointed by the Board of Trustees through a confidential search process in November. SGA Vice President Jordan Pintar says she hopes the January meeting will allow students and faculty to hear more about the president's plans.
That meeting will be a chance for the public to come and watch. Unfortunately, they won't be able to interact. It'll just be time for our representatives and our senators to interact with him. But I think that it'll be a really good chance for them to get their questions out and see what he has planned for our university.
The Jambar also asked about student government about its response to the recent university program cuts. Read this week's Jambar to hear more from the Vice President.
Students returning to YSU for the spring semester may have been unable to access the FAFSA form. The Department of Education took the FAFSA form offline to perform maintenance. Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships Patrick Hoffman says that a deadline extension was the main cause of the delays.
After the FAFSA became available, December 31st, there was a period of time that the Department of Education referred to as the soft launch period. And during this time frame, primarily from December 31st till just recently, there was some challenges that the department had experienced with students completing the new revised streamlined FAFSA.
The Department of Education completed the new FAFSA form on January 10th. Hoffman encourages all students to contact the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships with questions or concerns about the FAFSA form.
Despite the societal
The Dean of Students, Student Counseling Services, and the Penguin Pantry have moved locations. Their offices are now located on the 4th floor of DeBartolo Hall. The move happened over winter break. They were relocated to make room for the reconstruction of the Student Center. Campus community members with any concerns regarding physical and mental well-being can reach out to these services for assistance.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is being challenged in Ohio's legislation, but YSU is making strides. For more, here is Gunhildur Baldursdóttir.
Despite the societal challenges supporting diversity, inclusion, and equity, many ways exist to maximize students' well-being in the athletic environment.
Jason Spencer, Director of Athletics Academic Services, and Johnny Weir, Assistant Athletic Director, established a new fraternity group for student athletes of color called for the Culture Club.
Trying to grow a group of people who are committed, who want to grow as a community, who want to grow in terms of their collegiate experience. You know, we want to make sure that the students that are there feel included, the students that are there feel like they're being heard. It's a safe space for them to just vent about whatever's going on in their life. And, you know, there's some things they vent about that maybe we can help with, or there's some things that they just want to vent about. And then we can kind of problem solve from there.
According to the NCAA, all Division I schools must conduct a diversity, equity, and inclusion review every 4 years. Rebecca Fink, the Senior Director of Compliance Academics and Sports Supervision, says after coming out of COVID-19, YSU has worked with experts to provide inclusive environment for student athletes and staff members.
Our goals here is that each sport feels like they're valued and each individual feels like they're valued just as much as the person next to them, regardless of skin color, regardless of gender, regardless of beliefs, that they still feel valued and feel like they matter and, you know, are treated and have access to the same things.
Spencer says YSU Athletics hasn't settled and plans on adding more affinity groups for women and the LGBTQ community. My name is Gunhildur Baldursdóttir, reporting for the Jambar.
And now let's send things over to Nina in our newsroom to recap YSU's presidents.
Rhymes. To tell us about a past YSU president rhyming with present events, here's Christopher Gillette.
In 2013, the Board of Trustees selected Randy Dunn as the 8th president of YSU to succeed outgoing president Cynthia Anderson. Much like Johnson, Dunn was chosen by an outside search firm, in this case, AGV Search LLC. Dunn promised to cut university spending and reverse declining enrollment, announcing policies to achieve both. Lisa Garofoli, the Archives and Records Management Specialist at Mogg Library, was at YSU during Dunn's administration. Garofoli remembered Dunn's start, mentioning how willing he was to work at the university.
When he came in, he really had to get to work. He had to deal with a deficit, declining enrollment, and things like that. So, and it seemed like at the time that he was meeting with people on campus, he was willing to work with everybody.
It came as a surprise to many, including Garofoli, that Dunn announced his departure to be president of Southern Illinois University, 7 months after starting.
We thought he would stay. We really did. And it was so shocking when we come back in January and we find out that he got hired somewhere else.
SIU offered Dunn $430,000 compared to $375,000 at YSU. After leaving, he was succeeded by Jim Tressel after a brief interim period. Later, Dunn was removed from the SIU presidency following emails and records showing plans to change the university system without the SIU board's permission. Signing off from the Jambar, I'm Christopher Gillette.
Following Dunn's lead from YSU in 2014, the university began looking for a new president. Following open forums and community input, YSU selected Jim Tressel as its 9th president. Tressel told the Jambar after his selection Mission 1 is our students and began attending crash days and university events before beginning his presidency. After 9 years of service, fundraising, and focusing on enrollment, Tressel stepped down and opened the doors to Johnson's presidential selection. For a more in-depth recap of Tressel to Johnson, visit thejambar.com. Scott and Matt, back to you guys.
Well, it's been a wet one this week, but how are we looking this weekend? Zonde Smith has the weather.
This weekend, we're going to see some warmer temps with a mixture of snow and rain. I'll have a more detailed report after the break.
Why Youngstown State University? Because when it comes to the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Why Youngstown State University? Because I'm getting a top-tier education without the price tag. I can do anything here. I know why. It's not a question, it's the answer. Youngstown State University. Know why.
We know you hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Why go to a school in the Mahoning Valley of Northeastern Ohio, surprisingly beautiful as that may be? Why live on a campus that sits on the edge of the Rust Belt, historic and inspiring as that may be? In short, why choose Youngstown State? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the future, we take a back seat to nobody because you can afford us. And we will afford you the opportunity to build the future you want and the life you desire. Why Youngstown State? Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Welcome back to JambarTV. I'm Zonde Smith, and this is your weekly weather outlook. Here is this weekend's radar. Today will be mostly cloudy with wind speeds at 10 miles per hour, and temps will be around 55 degrees. At night, we will still see heavier cloud cover, and wind speeds will slow down to around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow will be slightly chillier and will be mostly cloudy. There will be a 75% chance for rain, with wind speeds staying consistent. Tomorrow night, the chance for rain will drop to 25%, and the heavy cloud cover will carry into the evening. On Sunday, there is a chance for a mixture of snow and rain, and in the morning with temps around 40 degrees. Temps will drop to 28 degrees in the evening, with chilly wind speeds at 14 miles per hour. Now, let's take a look at my 4-day forecast. Today will be mostly cloudy with a high of 55 degrees and a 25% chance for rain at night. The temps will drop to 36 with a low chance for rain. Tomorrow, temps will drop slightly with a high of 45 degrees. It'll be a cloudy day with a 75% chance for rain. At night, we'll have a low of 36 degrees and the chance for rain will decrease to 25%. On Sunday, we'll see a high of 40 degrees with a chance of a mixture of snow and rain at 80%. At night, we'll see temps at 28 degrees and that chance for sleet reduces to 55%. Moving into the start of the week, Monday will be chilly with a high of 36 degrees. We'll see a 60% chance for snow throughout the day, but this will decrease to 12% at night, along with a decrease in the temp at 26 degrees. That's all we have for this weekend's weather outlook. Stick around because Nina Reiner will be filling us in on the latest about SGA.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now you know why. Why Youngstown State University? Because when it comes to the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Why Youngstown State University? Because I'm getting a top-tier education without the price tag. I can do anything here. I know why. It's not a question, it's the answer. Youngstown State University. Know why.
Welcome back to JambarTV. I'm Nina Reeder, and this is your Student Life Update. We're now halfway through the semester, and Student Government Association is continuing its fall initiatives and planning for spring. Editor-in-Chief Molly Burke recently met with Executive Vice President Jordan Pintar to check up on SGA's progress.
Student government was busy during the fall semester, expanding its Ant Flow initiative, starting a student-run garden, and cleaning up campus. This semester, SGA has plans to keep improving student life and uplifting the community. Pintar said one of SGA's spring goals is to bring Project Dawn to campus, an Ohio Department of Health initiative to prevent opioid overdose.
Essentially, it's a great way to get students trained in first aid and response to like dire situations, and obviously then equipping them with a life-saving medication. So that's definitely something that I'm hoping to do.
Another spring goal is to put solar-powered tables on the lawn in front of the M60 parking lot on Lincoln Avenue. Pintar said this space will allow students to relax in between classes and bring their lunch to a sunny spot on campus.
And that is a very sunny spot down there, so we are looking to potentially bring some solar-powered tables down to that green spot so that whenever you're eating your pressed or hotheads or stone fruit, it's warm outside, you have a little spot to sit in between DeBartolo and Beagley.
SGA will also collaborate with the Crochet Club to have a craft fair later in the semester. Pintar said the fair would help reunite the community amidst political unrest on campus.
Because I think a little craft fair kind of along the lines of an org fair would be a great way to kind of reunite the community, bring us all together in a little outdoor or indoor space and sell our crafts.
SGA will hold elections for all executive board, representative, and academic senate positions in April. Declaration of candidacy forms will be available February 5th. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Molly Burke.
For 5 days and 4 nights, 2 local bands will climb aboard the 23rd annual Rock Boat from January 30th through February 4th. The Floating Music Festival will feature the Columbus-based band Red Wanting Blue and Pittsburgh natives The Common Heart. The Norwegian Pearl will depart from the port of Miami with stops in the Great Stirrup Cay, Bahamas, and Costa Maya, Mexico. Red Wanting Blue has performed on the Rock Boat for 11 years. The band's guitarist and keyboardist said that he loves the boat's atmosphere.
Doing it once, I think I would have been really, really, really happy, but to continue on and be an act on there that is sought after is such an honor.
Although the Rock Boat 23 is sold out, Sixthman's is working on the Rock Boat 24 and currently has spots available on several other cruises. You might remember the iconic line from Disney Pixar's movie Ratatouille, "Anyone can cook," and now at YSU, students are learning just that. Elizabeth Koss digs into the latest.
Students with an interest in the culinary arts can finally get cooking at YSU. The cooking club started last semester and began teaching students about cooking safety, preparing spices, and how to make chicken noodle soup. I spoke with Addison Kern, the club president, about why the club is a great option for students looking for different food options.
We make healthy options that are easy to make outside of our club. So if you're a college student who's like living in a dorm and you're getting tired of your campus food, it's an option for you to come once every other week to come make something that's different than what you're usually eating and something that you can bring back and make yourself in your dorm.
The club's advisor, Julianne Chang, said the club will prepare recipes created by the students in dietetics. These meals, if not finished, will then go on to the rescue mission. Chang also said that the interest from students in both cooking and community service has been great.
It's been great to see the interest, and there has been a lot of diversity amongst the students here in the club and a lot of interest of different food items that they want to learn how to cook, how to make. Some people are more adventurous than others, and that's just how we are all wired differently.
The Cooking Club will meet on January 22nd at 6:30 p.m. in Michelle's Hall's Cooking Lab on the 3rd floor. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Elizabeth Koss.
The first location of Trek Coffee House is right here in Youngstown. Jambar reporter Sydney Fairbanks visited the cafe.
Located on Mahoning Avenue, Trek Coffee Shop held its grand opening festivities on the weekend of January 13th and 14th. Events included a ribbon-cutting ceremony, educational workshops, coffee tasting, yoga, and a coffee throwdown where baristas competed in designing lattes. Trek began as a coffee bar under a different name, Cosé, by Levi Smith and his sister Emily Smith. Emily has since taken over the bar, while Levi ventured into the new shop. Levi says he loves the community in Youngstown and he hopes to add to the community with the shop.
Our goal has always been, with any coffee shop that we have, to build community. So coffee is something we do and we're really passionate about, but community is the thing that brings it all together. There's no coffee if there's not people trying to get together, coming up with new ideas, meeting each other, and having that friendship and fellowship time to hang out.
Levi also says that he wants to give people a space to relax and connect with others.
Our goal is to create a space where communities, students, whomever can come and kind of like disconnect from everything else, whatever it might be. We want to create that space and make that available to people.
Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Sydney Fairbanks.
That's all we have for this week's Student Life Update, but stick around for John Ostapowicz with the Sports Update.
All right, so who knows why?
I know why. For starters, I'm getting a top-tier education without the price tag. Can you say that? Engineering, sports, music, business. I can do anything here. I'm getting my hands dirty, learning what my friends are only reading about. I'm part of something bigger here. I'm proud to bleed red and black. So yeah, I know why. It's not a question. It's the answer. Youngstown State University. Know why.
We know you hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Why go to a school in the Mahoning Valley of northeastern Ohio, surprisingly beautiful as that may be? Why live on a campus that sits on the edge of the Rust Belt, historic and inspiring as that may be? In short, why choose Youngstown State? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the future, we take a back seat to nobody because you can afford us, and we will afford you the opportunity to build the future you want and the life you desire. Why Youngstown State? Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm John Ostapowicz, and this is your weekly sports update. Now, after 10 years, John Barnes officially resigned as head coach of the Youngstown State University women's basketball team on January 19th. Barnes has been away from the team since October 2nd, 2023, when he announced he would be taking a leave of absence in order to focus on personal matters. Barnes left YSU ranked second in program history for career wins as a head coach with 170. The Winds will finish the remainder of the 2024 season with John Nicolay serving as interim head coach. Although Barnes stepped down, the women's basketball team has continued to roll as it began its 3-game homestand. Jambar sports reporter Madeline Hippard has more.
I'm here at Bigley Center where the Youngstown State University Penguins just defeated the University of Purdue at Fort Wayne 66-57.
The Penguins defeated Purdue University Fort Wayne 66-57 on January 18th. The two teams exchanged the lead throughout the majority of the game. Then, in the fourth quarter, the Penguins were able to build a 57-46 lead with 1 minute 46 seconds left on the clock. Fort Wayne was able to fight back to a 60-55 deficit, only to be answered by back-to-back layups by junior guard Haley Theory. Acting head coach John Nicolay credited the Gwyn's victory over Fort Wayne to their strong defense.
I mean, it's
I feel like we've been gritty for 10 years plus. Like that's kind of our identity, and that's something we haven't shied away from. We've always embraced that.
Before defeating Fort Wayne, the Penguins had lost 3 straight games, which Theory credited as the Gwyn's motivation during their game against Fort Wayne.
Coming off of a 3-game losing streak, we really wanted to win this game so we could build off of that and use that as momentum. And we've been working really hard in practice on trying to set our players up so we can get open and moving the ball. And I feel like we did that really, really well today. And so just building off of that, I feel like that'll help us in the long run.
The Penguins returned to action on January 24th at home in Beagley Center when they took on Northern Kentucky University. The Gwyn's will conclude their home front on Saturday, January 27th at 1:30 p.m. when they take on Robert Morris University.
For JambarTV, I'm Madeline Hippard.
YSU men's basketball team continued Horizon League conference play over the last 2 weeks as it hosted Wright State at home on national television on January 12th. YSU picked up its 3rd straight win with a dominant second half performance, defeating the Raiders 81-71 on ESPN2. Head coach Gerard Calhoun reflected on the team's performance.
For our guys to not see the ball go in and hold them to 71, big step tonight. Big step for our guys.
YSU hit the road to take on Oakland University on January 17th. The Grizzlies snapped the Penguins' 3-game winning streak as they defeated the Gwens 70-67 for the 2nd time this season. The Gwens bounced back against winless Detroit Mercy on January 20th as they defeated the Titans 105-64. YSU moves to 14-6 on the season and 6-3 in the Horizon League. The Penguins will continue its road stretch as the team will take on IUPUI on January 25th at 7 p.m. They will also be back in action on January 28th at home inside the Beagley Center. To watch the game, you can check out ESPN Plus or view live stats at ysusports.com. The YSU track and field team hosted the Collegiate Invitational presented by Southwood Health inside the Watson and Tressel training site on Friday, January 19th. In total, 14 Penguins won events on the men's and women's side, including sophomore pole vaulter Blake Sifferlin, who cleared a personal best 5.31 meters and 5.36 meters to set a meet and facility record. This feat earned him the Under Armour Horizon League Track and Field Athlete of the Week. On the women's side, Nia Williams-Matthews won the triple jump with a leap of 12.36 meters, while senior Madison Murray was victorious in 2 events during the meet. The team will split up for 3 separate events at the UMass Lowell Riverhawk pre-national meet. Kent State Doug Raymond Invitational and John Thomas Charrier Classic hosted by Boston University on January 26th and 27th. In 2018, a college freshman joined the YSU women's soccer team as a walk-on midfielder. In 2024, that same athlete received an invitation to the player combine for the Tampa Bay Sun FC, a team in the USL Super League. Jordan Evans, a graduate student who joined the team from Austintown Fitch High School, recently received an invite to a player combine from a professional team. The Tampa Bay Sun is one of 12 new teams planning to take the pitch for the first time in August 2024 as Tampa Bay's first women's professional sports team. In an interview with YSU Athletics, Evans said it was around the mid-season mark when her and her coaches started the discussions of going pro.
Starting thinking about playing professionally kind of came about in the middle of the season, talking with my coaches. And then right when season wrapped up is kind of where we really started taking off on the conversations.
Although Evans has the stats to back it up, she has played in 77 games throughout her career at Youngstown State and started 39. She has collected 3 goals since 2018 and 2 in 2023 alone. Evans will return for her 7th season in the fall of 2024. Now, with a lot of sports indoors, those of you looking to come out for the sports this week, now we will send a weekly weather recap to Zonde Smith.
The start of the weekend will be slightly warmer with a high chance for rain. But on Sunday, there is a high chance for sleet. The start of the week will be colder as temps continue to drop, and there is a good chance for snow. That's all we have for JambarTV this weekend. Stay safe, Penguins.
Support for JambarTV is provided in part by the YSU Foundation and the Jane F. Lamb Charitable Foundation. Thank you.